redistrict Mecklenburg County, and it wanted to do it using a process involving citizens, a citizens committee, and once maps were agreed to at that level, that the maps would go up onto the county website so that citizens all over the county could comment on it, appropriate hearings would be held, and a dialogue would ensue between the citizens of Mecklenburg County and the county commission over the final formatting of the maps. The key thing is that the county commission made a decision over 6 months ago that it wanted to exercise that portion of state law which would permit it to initiate and control a process involving the citizens of Mecklenburg County. There's slightly less than 1 million people who live in Mecklenburg County. What has just happened is that through a backdoor process, through a process that one member of the General Assembly on the floor last week called a Houdini process, and a process that I have likened to voodoo, all of a sudden maps appeared that would take the authority away from the county commission that it had already reached out 6+ months ago and said that it wanted to exercise. Take input away from the citizens of the county that the county commission had already provided for, and substitute the will of a minority of the delegation for the will of an elected county commission, the will of 950,000 citizens of Mecklenburg County. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is simply wrong. It's not the way we have traditionally done things in Mecklenburg County. Our delegation has been considered to be a strong delegation because things that have dealt with local legislation here in Mecklenburg County have traditionally come to the delegation, have been discussed by the delegation, Democratic and Republican members of the delegation, and if a consensus was reached, that particular piece of legislation was supported by all members of the delegation over in the Senate, over in the House, and it was been able to move forward. Up until last week, the members of our delegation were able to talk to each other. The members of our delegation had honored this particular principle. By violating this principle, we are undermining the ability of Mecklenburg County to have an effective voice in the General Assembly. Put differently, some people in the majority party were extremely short-sighted in the methodology that they chose to violate a process. And this short-sightedness on the side of the Republicans may indeed endanger the ability of Mecklenburg County to stay on the forefront of the things that it needs to do in order to create jobs, in order to figure out ways to more efficiently and effectively conduct business here in the county. It's not about whether or not the map that was adopted is a good or a bad map. It's about the abysmal process that produced the map. And it's a warning sign that we should oppose that type of process, period. It's not good. It takes from us at the local level the ability to have a voice. It takes things away from the people of the county, whether they are registered Democrats, Republicans, Independents, Whigs, or Federalists. They had an opportunity to be able to express their particular opinion on at least 4 different maps. And it's the height of presumptuousness to believe that you can figure out what the product of that process would have been. You don't know. Somebody was afraid to allow that process to move forward. Somebody, and it's not the Democratic members of the legislature, somebody and it is the majority members of the legislature, the Republican Party, simply did not trust the will of the people of Mecklenburg County. Thank you very much.